So I wanted to come on here and talk about my own inner healing journey with my own body image and body dysmorphia. And with this day and age, with plastic surgery, social media, always striving to have the most perfect body, like why would we not struggle and suffer from this? So for as long as I can remember, I have absolutely 100% hated my body. I started my period and went through menstruation at a very young age, at the age of 9, where I had to grow up very fast. I was not a kid for long, and just thinking how young I was at the time, this is absolutely crazy to go through all of these processes and changes in my body when I'm still a kid and I have no idea what's going on. I don't have the right support and guidance to guide me into this state of womanhood. My daughter is 7 years old now, and just thinking of her going through the same age in 2 years from now is absolutely mind-blowing to me. And so from this, I grew tall. I was taller than everyone in my class. I was larger in size than everyone in my class. I was then made fun of. I was bullied. I was bullied for my size of my body. I was bullied for my voice. I was bullied for my hair. And this led to me, getting the struggle of an eating disorder. At the age of 12 years old, when I was in 6th grade, I suffered from bulimia. And at one point, I got so bad where I almost had to be hospitalized. I was not able to hold down any of my food. I was throwing up constantly, a lot of stomach acid, and I was, losing a lot of weight, and I wasn't able to manage and take control of this. And even before this, I, was hurting my body and I was hurting myself. I was cutting my wrists, I was cutting my legs for seeking of attention, but also just because I didn't know how to manage my pain. I didn't know how to manage my emotions, and I did not have the right regulation and coping skills to help me at this time. I still do have the scars on my wrists that show me how strong I am and where I've come from. And I really feel for the people that have been through this, because I've been through this and I came out of life. And with this day and age, with, like I said before, striving to be the best, always wanting to have the perfect body, sometimes this is not the case for us, and all we want to do is self-harm. Friends in the friend group, in the schooling system, where I, became a follower, and I was following what everybody else was doing to be liked and to have friends. And this led me down a very wrong path of self-harm with drinking, with drugs, with alcohol, with putting myself in environments where I was not able to take care of my body. And I was, self-harming in a way that I didn't know it at that time. I was, sneaking out of the house. I was going out and hanging out with older boys. I was letting, men abuse and take advantage of my body because I did not know the sacredness of my body temple at that time. And, in high school, I actually, was just going through so much. I was, in a very toxic relationship where I was mentally abused, emotionally abused, to the point where I, wanted to take my own life. In 12th grade, when I was 18 years old, I, attempted to commit suicide. I, went to a store with a friend. I had abused some pills that I found in my mom's neighbor. They were sharing rooms at the time out of a house, and one of them had some pills in the bathroom, and I just had the thought, like, okay, this is my time. These pills, I went through a few seizures and convulsions when I went to the store with a friend, and I ended up in the hospital, and I had a near-death experience where I, was in the hospital for a few days. My my dad just remarried to his wife at the time, and they thought that, because I attempted to do this, there was something wrong with the marriage, and this literally had nothing to do with them. This had everything to do with me, that I just didn't have the right support system. I didn't have the right coping skills to love myself, to love my body, and to be able to, be a young adult in the world with everything going on. And this is what really started my self-healing journey, is about 12 years ago of, processing and going through all of this to really rediscover and remember, my purpose and why I am here. I luckily got another chance. I got another chance to be alive and to show up in the world in my gifts, and to, give people and show people that there is hope, to find light from the darkness. And this is where I, found my light, and my strength was going through all of these struggles in my life to make it here now. These bits and fragments and pieces of myself, I've been so embarrassed, and I've had so much shame behind my story and my message and putting this out there, because all I've wanted to do is make people happy and proud, and all I've wanted to do is show up in my positive light so I can be that inspiration for others. But this is not how life, works. We are meant to go through the depths, the dark nights of our soul, to meet our shadows, to meet our weaknesses, and to really alchemize these things that we don't accept in ourselves to then become our strengths. And, if I didn't go through these processes in my life, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today. And this is why I feel like our connection with our confidence and the way that we feel in our body and about our body is so valuable and so important. Because if we are, self-bad talking, we are, just nitpicking and being critics of, who we are, how are we going to show up in our gifts in the world? Is by damaging and being destructive and being hateful, when we are magic in form. We are angels in form. We have been given this body to experience life and to go through what we're meant through. So why would we want to suffer? But I am showing up now more vulnerable and raw than ever, because if I can transform my life from where I was at, from hating my body, from self-hurting and self-harming to, at one point wanting to take my life, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here, to show you that it is possible to transform your life and to do anything that you want to create. It all starts with loving yourself, loving this life you've been gifted and blessed with, and really treating your love with compassion and with kindness. Some of us may be overweight, some of us, may be super, super skinny and slim, or we've been teased all our life and, being put down. This is the image that we see within ourselves, is the image that we see in other people. But this is not how it needs to be. You, by loving yourself, loving your body and taking care of your body and just accepting who you are, this is your gift. This is your purpose, is to love life, to love yourself, to love your body exactly the way that it is. And lately, to be honest, I've been struggling, and I've been dealing with body image. And I've been dealing with, low self-esteem and low confidence with myself. I've been really hard on myself, and I'm not giving myself credit from everything that I'm doing to everything that I am. And this is my testament, during this video, that I'm gonna, choose to embrace the way that I'm feeling and show up in a different way, because I know where I've been. And I know that this is not the way that I want to treat myself. I deserve to love myself inside out and love my body. And the way that I choose to show up in this, the more that we can come together in resonance and being transparent and, knowing that we're not going through this journey alone. This is how we then begin to rise together, is knowing that we are all the same. We all have a message, we all have a story, but when it comes down to it, all we're wanting is to be valued and to be seen and to be heard and to be felt. And the more that we hide ourselves and damage our self-esteem by, being negative towards ourselves, we're not able to do this. So how much more can, we just be raw and vulnerable in the process with where we're at, and knowing that this is just the